Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's happening inside so many data teams right now. It's this hidden crisis. The modern data stack. It promised all this incredible power, but instead, it's often led to burnout, wasted effort, and just missed opportunities. So we're going to break down exactly why this is happening and, more importantly, what you can actually do to fix it.
So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the paradox at the heart of the modern data stack and the high-pressure mess it can create. Then we'll pivot to the solution, which is all about a fundamental shift in roles, a brand new team structure, and the real-world strategies to help you get there.
All right, first up, the modern data stack paradox. The sales pitch was more power, but for a lot of teams, the reality just turned out to be, well, more problems.
To really get this, you have to understand there's been this massive philosophical shift. We moved away from those older, on-premise ways of thinking, like Kimball, which were totally obsessed with technical performance. Now, we're in this new, cloud-native world with frameworks like Medallion or Data Vault, and the whole point of these is agility, letting the business move faster and innovate.
And that promise, it was huge, wasn't it? The cloud was supposed to give us everything. Unlimited computing power, endless storage, self-service BI for everyone, AI capabilities. It was pitched as the ultimate, all-in-one data ecosystem.
But here's the twist. It turned out no single vendor could actually deliver that whole dream. So teams had to start piecing together their own stack from multiple vendors. Now, on one hand, that's great. It gives you incredible flexibility and you're not locked into one provider. You can swap out tools for better ones as they come along.
Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. If we have more power and more flexibility than we've ever had before, why are so many data teams feeling like they're drowning?
And that leads us straight to the consequences. All this potential created this intense, high-pressure environment where teams feel like they're sprinting on a treadmill, running faster and faster, but ultimately going nowhere.
The very first symptom is a total workload explosion. Because the new tools make everything seem possible, the business starts asking for, well, everything, now. And that unleashes this flood of new data pipelines and an absolutely endless stream of requests for dashboards, which throws the data team into a permanent firefighting mode.
And what happens when you're constantly fighting fires? It leads directly to our second symptom, an incredible amount of wasted effort. Without any central strategy, you suddenly have different people building redundant pipelines to do the same thing. You get the same data copied over and over in your warehouse, and you get almost identical dashboard requests coming in from different teams. It's chaos.
Symptom 3 is a total breakdown in governance. Look, when you're moving that fast, governance just becomes an afterthought. It gets handled use case by use case. There's no central source of truth, no master data management, and controlling data quality, it becomes a complete nightmare. And slowly but surely, this erodes all the trust in the data you're working so hard to provide.
And here is the ultimate irony in all of this. Teams are so buried fighting fires and rebuilding the same stuff that they aren't even tapping into the full potential of the super expensive, powerful tools they bought. Those advanced cloud services sit there unused. And those game-changing, large-scale AI projects, they just stay a dream on the horizon.
So here's the bottom line. That big, beautiful promise of self-service BI, where business users could finally answer all their own questions, for the most part, it is completely backfired. Instead of making users more independent, all this chaos has actually made them more dependent on an already overwhelmed data team. It's a vicious cycle.
So, how do we break out of this? You might be thinking, we just need a better piece of tech. But the real solution isn't about buying more technology. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think about people and their roles on the team.
So let's meet the hero of this new way of thinking, the analytics engineer. This is a role that was basically born out of this chaos. Instead of just churning out one-off requests, their entire mission is to build reliable, unified, and this is the key, reusable data models. They build it once, the right way, so that the entire business can use it over and over again.
Their motto is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Do less but better. What does that really mean? It means, instead of just jumping on the next urgent request, they go back and fix the foundation first. They take all that messy, existing work, they factorize it, they automate it, and they build a rock-solid reusable base that finally stops the firefighting and lets the team make actual progress.
But the analytics engineer isn't a lone wolf. They're a crucial part of a totally redesigned data team. A team that's built for success around 4 key roles.
First up, the data engineer's role changes. They stop being just tactical pipeline builders and they become platform data engineers. Think of them as the owners of the core data infrastructure, the services and the architecture that analytics engineers build on top of. They get to focus on the really deep specialized stuff, like real-time data streaming or complex APIs that empower everyone else.
Next is the return of the business analyst. They are the absolutely essential bridge to the business. Sure, they build reports and dashboards, but their most critical job is to be that feedback loop. They truly understand what the business needs, and they can report back on what's working, what's not, and where data quality is falling short. They make the whole system better.
And finally, the most forward-looking part of the team, the data product chapter. This team's job is to stop being reactive. They treat the company's data like a product. That means they are proactively out there looking for new, high-value opportunities. They use product management principles to figure out what the business needs before the business even knows to ask for it.
Okay, so a brand new team structure sounds fantastic, but let's get real. How do you actually get there from here? And that brings us to our final section, the actual practical strategies for making this transition happen.
From what we've seen, companies tend to take one of 3 paths. First, there's the vertical approach. It's fast, you go right after a sensitive legacy system. The risk? You might just end up rebuilding the same old problems. Then there's the ROI-focused approach. Also fast. You target some quick wins to show value and build momentum. The danger there is you might miss the bigger architectural picture. And finally, you've got the slow and steady horizontal approach, where you build global governance first. The risk here is that the business gets really frustrated waiting for any tangible results.
So, which one's the best? Well, in the real world, there's no single silver bullet. The companies that do this best use a hybrid strategy. They mix and match these approaches, carefully adapting them to their own company's context, their data maturity, and whatever pressures they're facing in the market. You might start with a quick win to build some political capital, then use that trust to tackle a bigger, foundational project.
So if you walk away with just one single thing from all this, let it be this. The technology might have created this pressure cooker environment, but more technology is not the solution. The real fix is organizational. It's all about getting the people, the roles, and the strategy right. And that leaves us with one last question for you to take back and think about. Take a hard look at your own organization. Is your data team structured in a way that just reproduces the problems of the past, stuck in that reactive, firefighting loop? Or is it structured to proactively create future value for your business? Thanks for watching.